Hi guys, I'm Alex,
And I'm Evan.
and we're wasting time with Final Fantasy IV New Enterprise. I think it's called.
Is that the name?
I think it's the name of the hack. So I saw this hack on during AGDQ. I was just catching. I'm behind. I was just catching up on all the stuff I missed, and it looked super cool. So I wanted to try. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy IV. Well, Final Fantasy 2. You needed a ROM of 2 to make this work.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of 2 and 3 American. So I saw this and I thought, oh, this looks really cool. And I've been playing it all weekend. I've done a few resets, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're gonna play a little bit for the channel. Yeah, I don't know if this would be worthwhile to do an entire playthrough of, but I mean, it's certainly fun. So what this game does, what this ROM hack does, as I explained to you, Evan, is it cuts out basically all of the plot from Final Fantasy IV. Turns it into like an open world kind of game.
Yeah.
And it randomizes all the character placements, treasure placements, and boss placements for the game.
So yeah, maybe we should lead with, this is essentially a randomizer, as some ROM hacks are, where they shuffle all the item positions and stuff.
Right.
But to make it,
Free Enterprise. That's the name.
Oh, okay.
That's the name of the game.
but to make it more, I guess, possible to give you random orders of stuff, they got rid of the progression, like the normal progression, and gave you the airship right off.
Because there is like a Metroid sort of progression where you can only get to certain parts of the games when you have certain key items, and those key items are also randomized. I got the tower key. As you start with one key item, and then like depending on which items you're given, that kind of determines how you progress through the seed. So it's kind of interesting. So you start off with 2 random party members that can be anyone from the game, and you have your airship, and you just kind of have to figure out how to progress through the game from this point. So this is not a very good start, because Cecil is he's the main character, but in his Dark Knight form, he's like the worst character in the game given this particular setup.
Okay.
In the main game, you don't really notice how bad Dark Knight Cecil is because of the way that that equipment is placed in the normal game. He's just strong enough to make it through the game up until the point where he gets a class change, and then he gets better equipment options. But because the equipment given to you is all over the place in this game, I'm checking like all the hidden treasure chests.
I was gonna say, how did you know that there was an axe and 50 gold there?
Well, I mean, I know where a lot of the chests are just from when I played this game as a kid.
Okay.
And also, like I've done a couple of resets on this just to play around with different like strategies. So my initial thing I like to do is there's like 3 or 4 guys, possible party members I can get without like having to fight any bosses or anything.
Right.
So I'm planning on going and collecting all those and getting some treasure like stashes I know about. So this is normal. This is a party member I could get, but this is a boss fight right here. And
is it?
Yeah, with this current team, I can't take those guys.
Okay.
So, yeah. The thing that's neat that I told you about is that the bosses are random. Like, I mean, wherever you would normally fight a boss, you still fight them in that place. But now the actual boss you fight is random. But they have the stats of whatever the thing you would normally fight, would have.
Right.
So it enforces like a degree of level scaling.
Yeah. So if you randomly get last boss at the beginning of the game.
Well, he's the one you can't.
Okay, but I mean, whatever.
But yeah,
last boss.
Theoretically, if you did, he would have
He'll
the
have the stats of first boss.
Exactly. But he would still have all of his abilities. I don't know why I'm doing this. He would still have all of his abilities, and he would still have like any gimmicks, and that can situationally make a boss fight much harder, depending on where you get them. It's good to check what the shops have, because the shops are also randomized at start. So it's good to have an idea of where you can go to buy stuff. You really want to come across a shop where you can buy like tents or cottages as soon as possible, because that makes a big difference if you don't have access to them. So here I'm going to get 2 more party members.
Okay.
All right, so I got Rydia. That's a good one. And
they just appear out of smoke.
Oh my god! Okay, that's amazing. So
Fusoya.
Fusoya is an endgame character, so he's like level 50 and has like all the spells in the game.
Oh, okay.
So that's that's an extremely good start.
So now you can go take those guys and get even more party members?
Well, there, like I said, there are like I think like 2 more places I can go right now without having to worry about like other boss fights, and I can pick up party members there. So,
Okay.
so hopefully I get some more. I mean, hopefully I get some more good guys. But Fusoya is a huge boon. He can solo like a lot of the early game bosses all by himself.
Okay.
So, yeah. You also because this is they wanted to make it like friendly for racers, I guess. And because people do race this, you can toggle encounters on and off. So I have them off right now because I'm just collecting stuff.
Just getting party members.
Fuck you, Edward. Edward is the other worst party member in the game.
That sprite looked like a girl.
Yeah, well, I mean he looks like a girl.
Okay, I see.
So Edward is the other worst party member in the game. He's worse than Cecil. He's worse than Cecil after Cecil gets his class changed. So Edward will be the worst party member eventually.
Okay.
So I'm gonna drop him as soon as I can. Right, there's a more treasure up here. This is where I would normally go to get the class change for Cecil, but there are 3 boss fights, and you do want to be a little bit leveled up for those. So
okay.
I'm gonna nope out of here for the moment. So there's like, there are 2 more spots I know of where I can get a party member without having to do anything significant. So let's go take care of those really quick. I'm gonna get to the actual meat of this once I get through the setup.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of neat because, so if I was playing this, I haven't played the game before. I'd probably do this exact same thing, although I wouldn't know what would spontaneously give me a boss battle.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'd probably end up talking to those people that you knew were a boss battle.
There's actually a lot of NPCs who give you hints about things. What, you didn't intuit that you could just come back here?
Yeah, no. So all of these treasures you're getting are random.
Yeah, these are all random.
Okay.
And Cecil can't use any of this crap.
Oh,
despite the fact that, because Cecil is a Dark Knight, and so he can only use Dark Knight equipment. And there is the set of Dark Knight equipment he starts with. There is a second full set you come across pretty early in the game, and there is a 3rd sword, I believe, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
So that is all the equipment he can equip in the entire game. And since everything is randomized, you're not going to come across like any of it.
Right.
Like, you don't want to, it's all bad. It can only be equipped by him. This is normally where the Spoony Bard scene happens. Oh, hey, it's Rosa. Okay. She's a white mage, so that's actually not terrible at all. We're gonna nope out of Edward. I don't know why I took Edward's stuff.
So...
And I got a hovercraft.
Okay. So now, if you mentioned that, most of the plot was gone.
Yeah, pretty much all the plot's gone.
For me, who's would be a new player to this would simply be a,
Oh, it's Yang.
This would simply be just a sandbox where I walk around, talk to people, and see what happens. And what happened to everybody.
I'm getting a weird visual glitch here. I think
probably because the game.
I think I will drop Tella.
Alright. So for me, I'd just walk around and go, oh, there's a town here. Oh shit, this guy wants to fight me. And if he beat me, I'd go fuck, and I'd start over and do something different.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It really helps to have played the game before, just so you know how the normal progression works, because.
And it's probably designed for people that have played it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Metroid game in that, when you're first playing through Metroid, you're gonna hit a point where you're just like, where the fuck do I go? And you just have to try all the different rooms.
Just try going places.
And then eventually you'll find a new thing, and you'll get a dead end and go, all right, well, I guess I got to go back through all the dead ends, and find another thing.
Is that S for save?
That's a save point. Yeah.
Okay, but we didn't.
I mean,
we didn't save because you're saving the state or whatever.
I'm going to be doing both, but I have had a few times where, because I'm not speedrunning this per se, but I'm trying to play this faster than normal. to make it more fun. Like I don't want to spend a lot of time.
Yeah,
like,
I mean we get more
like
content.
grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I found Ashura, the summon, which is going to be pretty handy.
Oh, okay.
But there have been a few times where, because I've been rushing so much, I forget to do a regular save, and then like
I see.
I've lost an entire run.
Okay.
So to avoid going through that on camera,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm doing save states too. I will not be save stating in battle to like cheat my way through, because that's lame.
Right. We're better than that
I'm better than
on wasting time.
that. It's bad if your time is wasted, so we try to take steps to avoid that.
Yes.
This cave is normally where Cecil would get his upgrades.
Oh, okay.
But they're not here, obviously, because of
Yeah.
all the random. Yeah, all right. That's not a great.
Does your sprite change based on who you put in front, by the way?
I can actually change it manually.
Oh, okay.
And I see speedrunners doing this, so I'm assuming that helps you like
Oh,
move.
slightly go faster.
Yeah, or possibly like reduce the encounter rate or something. Cast the exit spell. All right, so let's go fight a boss.
All right.
So now I have my team. I have like all the team I'm gonna have for the
Yeah.
for the moment. I'm pretty sure I could just use Fusuya to go and cheat a boss that'll immediately give me another teammate, but I want to get this first boss out of the way just for like the easy experience points. The one of the downsides of being based off Final Fantasy 4 is that 4 doesn't actually show you like how equipment like affects your stats until you actually equip it, and even then it won't show you stuff like, you know, get 10% to your magic or anything like that.
Huh.
So it's extremely annoying. You just kind of have like I'm just kind of going off like what I remember.
I mean, do you know
like
if it
working?
increases your defense? Or... Oh,
Yeah,
I
well-
see. When you put it on it. Does it?
Yeah, but for example, like most rods tend to increase like your like what do they call it? Your wisdom stat, I believe, is the one. But there's no display for wisdom in here. That's
Right.
that's like your magic stat, the third one right there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's kind of it is kind of annoying to have to kind of just go back and like I'm going off like what I remember is better than other stuff. Like
Yeah.
I remember that vaguely being like endgame equipment. Man, I got like nothing my guys can actually use. That's not good. Alright, I should probably have a ring. Okay, yeah, I'll put this diamond ring on Yang and Rosa. I think Ruby's better than Iron. Ruby is less defense, but more thing. I'll put the Ruby on Lydia. There we go. And then I also got to change my formation a bit because I only have 2 melee members, and Final Fantasy 4 limits how many people can be in each row. So you can either have 2 in the front and 3 in the back, or the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like in 6 where you can just put your guys anywhere. All right, so let's go loot this cave.
It's foggy.
It's misty.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference. And actually, let's turn on encounters really quick, just because Rydia's like at level 1, so killing literally anything in this cave.
We'll make her stronger.
Yeah, we'll make her stronger. And these are like enemies from the very beginning of the game, so they're super easy.
Okay.
There, we already got three levels.
3 levels.
Now she actually has
cure and sight.
So that's all I needed. Hey, I got a wizard robe.
I wish.
That's like, I think that's an endgame robe. I think Fusuya comes with that.
Wouldn't it be amazing if experience, worked in real life like it does in video games? Or if I just worked at McDonald's for a week and flipped enough burgers.
Da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da.
I would level up and gain physical capabilities.
Oh, I missed a chest back there.
Be amazing. No game, no life was right.
I just found Odin in a box.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Odin was just sitting in a box.
Sure.
He's allowed to hang out where he wants to. Don't judge him.
Yeah.
Don't shame Odin.
Yeah, I think no game, no life was right. Where life should just be based on games.
If only. Alright, so this is normally where the Mist Dragon is fought. And instead, we're going to be fighting...
Oh, that's how...
Really?
Whoa.
God damn it.
Who's that guy?
He is a late game boss.
But you've got Fusoya, the level 50 Gandalf.
Yeah, I think I used that too early. So this is a scripted fight, and that's why it's so bad. Because he's going to kill off like 3 of my party members at random.
Oh shit.
So if he doesn't kill Fusoya, I'm fine.
Did you randomly get any Phoenix Downs there?
I don't believe I did. I think I have a life staff, but I didn't equip it on anybody. I can equip it mid-battle, but his agility is really high, so he starts casting... After this whole thing is over, he starts casting spells really quickly. Oh. And I think Fusoya is the only one who will have a chance of surviving.
He's got a Pokemon.
And of course, Fusoya is the first one he kills. Fantastic. Alright, so I'm stuck with Yang and Rydia. I don't think I can win the fight with those two.
Equip the life staff.
Let's see who gets the first turn. Alright, Yang's first.
Well, Rydia only has 55 max HP.
Yeah, she's super weak. Hit Rydia, hit Rydia! Okay.
And
so Rydia got killed several times over, yeah. And it's over. Yeah.
Wow! That was bullcrap.
Let me try that one more time, because I used my I have an item that I used way too early, which casts Reflect on somebody.
So now, how random are we talking here? Now, is this a seed or is this...
It's a seed, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna have him again.
It's not. Yeah, it's not gonna be somebody else. So it's probably for the best that he's right here, because if I decide, like, if I don't do it like in like 2 more tries, I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
Okay.
But this cave is not like blocking any meaningful progression.
Okay.
So it's better that Golbez was here. I did another run where he was exactly where he was supposed to be, and it was super hard because he had much better stats, and I didn't have a good way of dealing with his magic spam. I didn't have the reflect item at that time, and I missed out again.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I do get it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see.
I just assumed I wasn't able to get it.
Just vanish, doom him.
The randomizer I checked for Final Fantasy 6, which is not nearly as good as this one I was telling you about. That one has the option to disable that.
Oh,
I don't know why you would. I mean, that's part of the charm of the game.
It's probably the only way to get through completely randomized bullcrap anyway.
I know, right? All right, who's gonna die this time?
Did you put the life staff on?
No. I don't need a life staff.
But you...
Well, also like he's gonna be one-shotting everybody but Fusoya anyway, because he's casting level 2 magic. Fuck you!
Oh, it's the same 3 people.
Last time it was randomized. Okay.
It's the same 3 people in the same order.
When I fought him on the last run I did, it was randomized. So that's weird. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get the reflect off quick enough. There we go. No, 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 no!
Oh, damn. Hey. All right. Well, at least your party member with with tiny girl arms to survive.
Eat Chocobo. Look how fast he's casting the spells.
Yeah, holy crap. She just turned... Did she turn into a Chocobo?
No, she called a Chocobo.
Yeah, but she turned all yellow and looked birdie. Like...
Hey! Death by Chocobo.
Nice.
And Rydia gets all the experience points.
3 levels!
I mean, she's the one who needs it.
Yeah. She deserves it.
Right. So now we get the fuck out.
Fusoya died like a coward.
He turns into a little puddle of beard when he dies. I love it. I'm very fond of Fusoya because you get him. He kind of shows up. out of nowhere at the very end of the game in the original game, and he's just a placeholder until you get one particular party member back. So he's around for like one dungeon and he fucks off for no particular reason. Like there's no real most of 4 has a rotating cast of characters. So you get your people like move in and out of your party like as the game goes on, and normally there's an actual justification for why somebody might not be in your team. But Fusoya just decides to go off and do a much less intelligent plan than the one you're gonna do.
I mean, he's old. He knows what to do. Or he's got to pee. He needs a break.
Maybe. He also gets boned in the sequel, which is very bad.
All these weird little nooks within the mountains, like, really pique my curiosity. Like, not that, like this isolated thing with just some caves.
Oh, well, this is because you go through here and you pop
it's
out.
all a network.
Yeah, you pop out here
okay,
and then you go into here and you pop out there.
Okay.
Alright, so I could do Ant Lion, but let's go here, because if I beat this boss...
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, if I beat this boss, then I can get another party member. And I'm kind of hoping for Kane or Edge to replace Yang. Actually, I'd probably replace Cecil right now, just until I do his class change. Oh, cool, it's Kane. Alright.
Is he just going to fight you? Or?
No, well, he's going to fight
Oh,
with me.
okay.
So we're ditching Cecil. I don't want your equipment. And Bahamut. Fantastic.
I was going to say, is it actually going to be that guy or a random guy?
The sprite does reflect who it's supposed to be. Thankfully, I think Nuke will kill him right now. Yeah, because he would have the Mom Bomb stats. Who's the boss you normally fight here? So, all right, we beat Bahamut.
Okay, cool.
But like I said, Fusoya is a really fucking good draw to have.
Yeah.
At this point of the game.
I like how the spell is just called Nuke too.
Yeah, it's actually Flare, and it's funny because this game is subject to censorship. So like the spell that was originally referred to as Holy was changed to like White in this game.
Oh, all right.
But they were able to keep Nuke because I guess religion's bad, but nukes don't scare children.
Not in Japan.
Well, I mean, they were censored for the American.
They're used to it. Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, this is easy type.
Oh, so. I see.
So, oops. Yeah, just something just amused me. But yeah, we have stuff like like Nuke and White, and Meto is the most powerful spell in the game that you will probably never really use.
What's it supposed to be?
Meteor.
Why is that censored?
Well, I mean, I think that one's an issue of character limit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, also, I can do this entirely superfluous thing right here.
Oh, there's another one.
It's just the other end. But normally this place is covered in ice, and if Rydia comes here and has to use fire magic and confront her fear of fire, but she'll just do it now because there's no actual plot, and she learns Fire 1.
Oh, neat.
Which I will never use, but it's a nice touch. If you tried to examine it from the back, you'd get a message saying like it's sealed thick with plot.
Oh, okay.
Which is amusing. All right, so let's see. I could do the Antlion, or I could do. Might as well just do Antlion's Cave really quick.
I mean, you're right here, I guess.
Yeah, there's a bunch of treasure in here, so I might pick up good shit. Oh, I should have checked if I had got anything for Kane. Because I think I picked up some spears. I got the Drain Spear. Oh, he can use the defense sword. It's a really strong sword.
You know,
Yes.
Him being a Dragoon...
He is the Dragoon.
Yeah, it reminded me that I don't know why, but I felt a sort of, like, pang of missing Final Fantasy XIV. Because it
said nobody ever.
It actually had a really cool way of tying all the character classes into lore and into plot. So, like, in a game like this, in some RPGs, if you get somebody and it says they're a Dragoon, I'm not always clear on why they are one or what their job is outside of, saving the world.
I got another Odin.
What? Okay.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy IV is extremely story heavy. So Kain is a dragoon because the Kingdom of Baron has a dragoon core, and Kain. I got fucking Excalibur. Okay.
Wow.
When I get Cecil back, he's gonna be amazing. Excalibur's like the second strongest sword in the game.
Oh, cool.
It's really good shit. But yeah, and the king really wanted Kain to be a Dark Knight like Cecil, but Kain said, "Fuck that! I want to honor my dad."
Yeah.
And so he learned how to jump on things really good.
Well, yeah. See, like, and that's cool and all, but
Already out of room.
it wasn't until 14 is the first Final Fantasy I played where they actually try to explain like why the classes fight the way they do.
Because game.
Right. So, like, for instance, a dragoon, they have to fight dragons, right?
Yes, it's in the name.
And so, the reason, for instance, just like on the face of it, the reasons that dragoons learn to jump really well is because dragons fly. So you have to jump up there to like hit them.
I mean, that makes sense.
And
Well, what about Panzer Dragoon?
and also like
I mean, that's why Panzer Dragoon has a laser that blows up dragons.
if you're a monk, you fight with fists, and if you're a Dark Knight, you fight with your greatsword. But then,
Excuse me. We're playing Final Fantasy IV, so they are not monks. They are karate man.
oh, they're karate man. Okay.
That is the localized name.
And so
I demand that you respect the nomenclature.
Okay. And so, a dragoon fights with a spear, like the big lance, because you need a weapon not only of that size and heft, but that strikes with a point. Because you need to maximize the pressure to break through dragon scales. Because they're so much stronger than normal armor that, like, maybe you could, chainmail you could maybe get through with a sword.
Okay.
Or, like, something else. And so,
That makes sense.
with each character class, I like that they go out of their way to go, this is why they fight the way they do and with the weapon they do. And they give you that in practical, like, application within the game world. And so it wasn't until Final Fantasy XIV that I went, oh, that's why dragoons always jump and use great spears, And so it just reminded me that was a thing I liked.
Oh, I guess this is the entire... Okay. This is normally like a multi-wave boss fight. I've never actually... I encountered like a variation of this, and I guess it was a different one.
But all the enemies are random in each wave?
No, it's the same. It's the same wave. But they're
okay.
They're all regular enemies presented as a boss fight.
I gotcha.
So yeah, and
So Fusoya is just gonna kill all?
well, he would, but he's like very low on magic now because I.
Oh, you didn't randomly get any ethers or like stuff?
I haven't. They're very rare, and also I thought this was a different General on Two Fighters fight because there's two separate ones.
Yeah.
So I wasted Meadow like right off the bat.
Oh, okay.
Which took it. It takes like 90 magic points.
Oh no.
99 magic points, and he only has like 180 ish, and he'd already been casting. Whatever, it wasn't a big deal.
And he's not. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's gonna level up anytime soon.
No, he's level 50.
I really like his chanting. How his eyes glow red.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of creepy, but it's like cute at the same time.
Yeah, it's quite cool. So I believe that's the last one. Yep, there's one more. All right, we're doing this again.
He has 6 MP left. Oh, okay. That's a good use of the last of it.
Look at all that health I yield. I do have the Japanese only abilities enabled because when we got this game in America, the Japanese were worried that our tiny American brains wouldn't be able to handle a full-on RPG.
Yeah.
So that's why we got Mystic Quest and a very downgraded version of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
Which had a lot of spells and abilities taken out that were too complex for us.
Man, Mystic Quest was but that music though.
It has pretty good music. It really does.
I remember sitting in one of the dungeons. I'm not sure if it's the last one, but there was one dungeon where when I was a child, I just heard the music and I went, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever!" and I just put the controller down and sat there and listened to it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to beat the dungeon because I was having so much fun rocking out to the music.
That's cool.
So I just put the controller down for a while and like jammed, and then I finally picked it up like an hour later.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig that. I used to like record, like on video, like I'd use my VCR and like record like areas I liked like that. Oh, I got the twin harp.
Now is that a random item, or is you supposed to get that?
Well, that's a key item, but
oh, it's a random.
which key item you get is randomized.
Okay.
So, like I said, like this opens up a dungeon for me I would not have been able to access without, or I wouldn't be able to complete without the twin harp.
Oh, okay.
So why don't we break here and we'll do another video after this.
Okay, cool.
All right, see you guys then.
Next time.